What do a doctor of physics and a college dropout have in common? Both give a speech at an elite American university. Angela Merkel at Harvard, Steve Jobs at Stanford. Before we get into it, Angela Merkel is one of the very few people for whom Harvard created a teaser video for her commencement address. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is just brilliant, like a Hollywood trailer introducing you to Angela Merkel's unique story. Alright, let's take a look at the two speeches in comparison. I believe that at one point or another, the doctor could learn from the dropout. Let us look at three things: the start, the stories, the message.
Thank you. And I think let's start. President Becker, fellows of the corporation, members of the board of overseers, members of the alumni board, members of the faculty, proud parents and graduates.
Never underestimate the power of the beginning. People decide and feel within seconds whether they are addressed, whether they are appreciated, whether they want to trust you, whether they want to listen to you, and whether they find you interesting and likable. Did you notice Angela Merkel is smiling? She doesn't do that very often, but here she does it really well. Before you start, give your audience a smile. It doesn't cost much, but it connects and makes you immediately likable. Steve Jobs does it the same way. Smile first, then talk. Look closely.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world.
I think he does something outstanding here, and that distinguishes his start from Angela Merkel's. Steve Jobs does not start with a list of the most important representatives of the university, but addresses the students directly. I am honored to be with you at your commencement. And then he involves the university in the form of a compliment. One of the finest universities in the world. Wow. This also addresses all the representatives. We can learn something from that. Start with a smile, speak directly to the people, and express your appreciation. In doing that, you open a door that cannot be closed so easily anymore. Getting to the second aspect, the story.
Hermann Hesse schrieb, jedem Anfang wohnt ein Zauber inne, der uns beschützt und der uns hilft zu leben.
Hermann Hesse wrote, "In all beginnings dwells a magic force for guarding us and helping us to live."
Angela Merkel begins with a quote by Hermann Hesse. In all beginnings, there is a magic force that is guarding us and helping us to live. Great. I love quotes. They are really powerful. And the word magic in the quote unfolds its own power. Then how does she go on?
Diese Worte Hermann Hessens haben mich inspiriert, als ich mit 24 Jahren mein Physikstudium abschloss.
These words by Hermann Hesse inspired me when I completed my physics degree at the age of 24.
Wow, that's very impressive. Finished the studies of physics at the age of 24. What does Steve Jobs say?
Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation.
This is the closest I've ever gotten to college graduation. Lovely. You know, perfection creates respect. Imperfection creates a bond. I have the greatest respect for Angela Merkel, but I feel an emotional connection to Steve Jobs. Why? Because things don't always run smoothly in life. Because there is trouble, there is struggle. Steve Jobs doesn't deny it. He says yes to his story, which tells of a difficult start in life, but also tells how he managed to build a billion-dollar company from scratch. These are stories that people love. My tip for every presentation: Don't just present a solution, a strategy, or a project result. Tell your audience about the difficulties that stood in the way. Tell them about the challenges that you had to overcome. Angela Merkel does the same, by the way. She tells of the time when the Berlin Wall was still standing, which she passed by every day. She uses this as an image for walls that could stand in the way of the students and speaks of the power to overcome these walls. That's a powerful metaphor and a great story too. Certainly, and finally, what message do they leave with their audience? Let's watch the end of the two speeches.
That's why I want to leave this wish with you. Tear down walls of ignorance and narrow-mindedness, for nothing has to stay as it is.
Standing ovations. A really nice ending. That's probably what the audience thinks, as I did. But Angela Merkel is not at the end of her speech yet.
Take it's 6 things.
6 things. That is the difference between Germans and Americans. The Americans finish with a single message, the Germans with 6 paragraphs. What does Steve Jobs say?
Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. That is bound to stick. 6 points, nobody remembers. But stay hungry, stay foolish, I can remember that. And because there's really nothing more to add to this sentence, I wish you the same today. Stay hungry, stay foolish. That's it for today. If you like these tips, just click on subscribe. And if you want help with your presentation, send it to me and we will look at it. See you and bye-bye.